Hey guys, welcome back to some more reviews, and today talking about The Witch from 2015. It's a 7.5 on IMDb, directed by Robert Eggers. This movie says it came out in 2015, but much like my other reviews I've done on this channel, like Your Next and Oculus, this movie was released originally in 2015, but it got a much wider release in 2016. That's when I seen it. I seen it like 2 weeks ago in the movie theater. And I gotta say, I went into this movie with a very half and half sort of mind. I was like, most horror movies that come out now have this stupid formula that's going on right now. With, like I said, jump scares at the end of the freaking movie, which happens a lot now. In every single freaking horror movie I see now, there's gotta be a jump scare at the end of the freaking movie. Which this movie does have there's one problem with this movie. There's one problem. And that was the end of the movie, which I'll get to. And by the way, this review on The Witch will be a spoiler review. So spoiler alert, if you haven't seen The Witch yet, you might want to turn this review off, go see it, and come back to the review. So yeah, spoiler alert, I will be spoiling the movie The Witch. If you haven't seen it yet, then don't watch the review. And come back when you've seen it and watch the review. So yeah, spoiler alert, I am going to be spoiling this movie, The Witch. Now, there was one problem with the movie, and I'll get to it soon, but it was just the way this movie ended was, I don't want to say lazy. It wasn't really lazy. It was just sort of a, what the freak kind of ending. Or not even a cliffhanger. It was more of just like a very confusing ending. I will say that, very confusing ending, which most people will say it's a cliffhanger, but to me, it was just like a straight up confusing ending. I didn't get it. But the movie The Witch it doesn't follow the formula, like I mentioned, that a lot of horror movies follow today. With the non-scary atmosphere, stupid ideas, if they're new, and most of them are cliche. Predictable horror movies now. You can predict who's going to live and who's going to die. You can predict the ideas. Crappy CGI, and like I said, every single freaking scary movie now has to have a freaking non-scary ending jump scare. Just because putting that jump scare in there is not scary, by the way. So people that keep doing this formula with the jump scares at the end of the movie, it's not scary. To me, it's not anyway. It's not really that scary. It's kind of stupid and lame because you're watching it and you see this terrible CGI jump scare pop up. And it's like, that was a little bit cartoony and silly. What the freak? And I like this movie doesn't do that. I like how the end of the movie, I was like, I swear to freaking gosh, if this freaking movie has a freaking CGI jump scare at the end of it, I want to say I'm going to get really mad at this ending. And I wasn't mad at it, I was confused by it. Yes, it's a problem, but I wasn't totally furious about the end of the movie. It was just kind of confusing. So the one problem with this movie is the ending, which, like I said, I'll get to. But this movie, like I said, I went into it with a very split, state of mind. I went into it, I went into it expecting, hoping that it would be a good movie. And, but I knew the freaking formula that these horror movies now are going through, and horror movies now are not doing that well. I mean, yeah, you'll get them to the point where they'll make money, but as far as a well-made film goes, then, sorry about that. I think that glitched. My camera's glitching up here. I wonder if you guys can see that as well. Is this glitching up? Sorry about that. It might not be anything when I'm doing this video when I upload it, but so if you're glitching up, I might have to restart the video, but I don't know. It stopped for now, so I won't restart the video, but my screen was kind of glitching up over there for a second. Hopefully it's not affecting the review. Hopefully this review isn't freaking muted. My other freaking reviews I upload, and then I'm just sitting like, I hate that, man. I'll upload a video and it'll be muted, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, my audio cut out, because sometimes my audio cuts out for some stupid freaking reason. And so yeah, sorry about that. I just was hoping that this doesn't affect the review or the video. Sorry about the little glitch there. Hopefully you guys might even notice that, but I just seen like a glitch on my screen over here. But whatever. The movie, like I said, I went into it with a very equal mind. And I hoped that it wouldn't be as crappy as most horror movies are that come out today. But it wasn't. It surprised me, and I was very surprised. And this movie gets a 7.5 on IMDb. I think it deserves that, honestly. I wonder if it won any awards. I think it actually won a lot of awards, actually. Cost $8 million. It grossed out $16 million. Thank goodness it didn't bomb. I'm about to say this freaking movie bombs. That freaking sucks because this movie's freaking awesome. And this is one of those movies I'm going to buy it on Blu-ray when it gets out. It's that good. Like, it's up there with As Above, So Below, and Unfriended, and, you know, The Purge. I mean, it's a really good movie. I really enjoyed it. The movie has gotten a lot of awards, which aren't popping up right here. I might have to look up the awards, but I'll just say this: it does have a lot of awards. It won like scariest movie, and a lot of people were talking about how creepy it was. I don't know if it won like scariest movie of the year, but a lot I noticed that during the poster is like having these reviews on it and stuff like that, and people saying how scary it is. And it is. It is actually a very unsettling and very creepy movie. And the movie is based off of a little of a folktale, I guess, and they made it into the movie. And the movie is the way that it's shot, the way that it looks is very unsettling. Every shot and every set of this movie is scary and creepy. Just the way that it's lit, the way that it looks. It's a very eerie, not eerie, what the freak does that mean? Eerie, it has a very eerie atmosphere to it, very creepy. And it definitely does have the creepy factor up to the max. It's just a very unsettling movie with a very unsettling idea. The idea of the movie is very creepy. This idea that you sort of feel sorry for this family. They're struggling to get by. They've been pretty much, banished from their, village, and have to go out and live out in the woods. And, you feel bad for them because they gotta live off this little farm with a couple of goats and a cow, I think. And they're just barely scraping by. And this witch starts tormenting this family. And, one scene after another scene, these crazy things start happening. And the family slowly falls apart, and they just slowly start to die off. And it's a very, very unsettling idea. And, the way that this movie looks, especially the woods themselves, like the movie doesn't even look like it was shot on a set. It honestly looks like they went out into the woods and shot a movie in the middle of the woods. Now, I may be wrong about that. It may be so good that I thought that it was actually sets, like it wasn't sets, that it was actually them outside in the woods somewhere filming. They might have done that. But if these were sets, they were done very well. And even the house, the way it looks like a freaking real house, it doesn't seem like a fake set. Like most of these horror movies come out now, you can tell it's all done on the set. Like the forest had a creepy atmosphere, but this one blows it away. Like I said in that review, the forest had a great atmosphere. It does, kind of a creepy atmosphere to it, the forest and stuff like that. But this looks like 100 times more realistic than that forest, because that forest kind of had a CGI look to it. I don't know, it just felt like it was more on a set than this was. This felt like a real, organic, natural forest. That one just felt like it was on a set somewhere, and they were shooting it somewhere, and maybe had a little bit of creepiness to it. But this has a very creepy atmosphere of the woods, especially during that scene where the youngest child gets stuck out in the woods, and he's walking through the woods, and the sun goes down, and it's becoming dusk, and just the way the woods are shot and lit, they are very creepy looking. And some of the things that happen is like this one kid gets lured out into the woods, and this witch sort of very disturbing scene where she kisses the little boy. And it's like, what the freak? It kind of freaked me out. Everybody in the theater was creeped out. This is one of those movies where, in the theater, you could hear people just, being scared by this movie. By it being disturbing at times. People were like, oh my god. People in the background hear people going, oh my god, holy crap. People were flipping out watching this movie. And, I was not expecting to be this good. I was really just expecting it to be like, typical horror movie. Go in there, see it's decent. But no, this movie just definitely blew me away. You know, the shock factor, the creepy factor, and just the total idea of being, you know, the horror movie that newer horror movies should study. Like, if people want to make newer horror movies, study The Witch. Study the way this movie's shot. Study the story. Study the characters, the acting. Because all these characters are likable. The twins, the twin kids were likable. Thomason, the lead girl, is likable. Then you got the two parents, William and Catherine, just two parents trying to live off the woods and stuff like that. And then of course you got the youngest son, and then I think the youngest twins, and that's it. And they got animals and stuff on the farm and stuff like that. And pretty much they are living off of like vegetables and apples and stuff like that. And you know, like I said, just barely scraping by. And this witch just freaking wow, man! Just this witch just causes mayhem. I mean, you know, this one kid comes back from the forest or from inside the woods, and he's all possessed, and he coughs up an apple, and then like he just dies right there. And then the twins get possessed, and then they pass out, and then they end up disappearing later on in the movie. And this lead character sort of like just going through this because they keep blaming her for being the witch, and she's like, "No, I'm not the witch," because the twins are gonna tell on the older sister about something, and the older sister was like, "Oh, if you tell them I'm gonna, you know, I'm a witch, I'll curse you." And of course, the twins say that she's the witch, and the father, William, played by Ralph Ineson, did a good job as well. The father pretty much locks his kids up in a freaking, you know, shed, nails boards in the freaking door and everything, and he ends up getting killed by a freaking goat, which you find out is actually a sort of an evil, you know, presence or force that's pretty much taking the shape of this goat. And you find out that the twins were talking to this goat, and they were communicating with this goat, and the goat kills the father, and then the mother goes crazy and attacks the lead girl, and the lead girl has to kill her own mom, and you know, even the baby, because you find that they also had a baby, but you know, this really memorable scene was very well done. It was very memorable, where the lead girl Thomason, she's playing peekaboo with the baby, and she goes peekaboo, peekaboo. The third time she does it, the baby's gone, and you know, there's a very disturbing scene at the beginning of the movie where you get this idea that the witch sort of cut the baby open, you know, smeared the blood all over her skin, and the witch is very creepy looking. You know, very old and no clothes on, hair all grown out, very gross looking witch. And, you know, she pretty much puts a curse on this family, like I said, and things start going crazy. But, yeah, I mean, you got pretty much Thomason having to kill her own mom. And then she goes out in the middle, and this is what I didn't get, is she goes out into the forest, and because the goat's like shows her this book, and then she has to get undressed, so she's pretty much naked, and then the goat leads her to the forest, and right now I'm sort of lost. I'm like, okay, what the freak is going on here? What the freak? And then like she goes right in the middle of the forest, pitch black at night, granite, creepy atmosphere, but there's a bunch of naked witches dancing around the fire, and then the girl just walks up, and she starts laughing, and then she starts freaking, the witches start levitating up in the air, and then she starts levitating up in the air and flying and stuff like that, and then the movie ends. I don't get that ending. Maybe there's supposed to be some sort of message there, or I don't even know that. I don't get the ending. Maybe it's sequel bait. Maybe they're going to make a sequel one day, but, you know, maybe it can be considered a cliffhanger, but it was a very confusing ending, because you were like, okay, what purpose was that to serve in the movie? You know what would have been an awesome ending? Is if the lead girl, and this is what I thought was going to happen, okay, so her whole family's dead. You know, she had to kill her mom, her dad's dead, her siblings are either dead or missing, and she rises up, gets an axe, you know, gets a knife or something like that, sorry about that, gets a knife or something like that, and freaking goes after the witch, fights the witch into the movie and kills the witch. That's what I thought was going to happen. But of course, she just goes out in the woods and levitates, and that's the end of the movie. I'm like, so what was the point of that? Kind of a pointless ending, in my opinion. There's really no point to it. It would have been awesome if she would have went in the woods and fought the witch with a freaking axe and a knife and just fighting. She getting punched or something like that. I know it sounds a little cheesy for me saying that. Oh, but why would she go out and fight a witch? The witch would kill her. I don't know. It'd be a fun idea. I think because I'm used to most horror movies having that where the girl rises up. But in a way, it's a good thing because it means it's not predictable. So it goes half and half. It could be a disappointment, and it's also a good thing because it's not being predictable. You didn't expect it because it's not being predictable. So that's a good thing as well. Half and half, bad thing, good thing. So the ending is definitely a confusing ending. So it's a problem for me. The ending, it's a problem. But at the same time, it's not predictable. So you can look at it either way. It's sort of half and half. So it is a problem, but at the same time, I can see a little bit of positivity behind it. But it's still, in my opinion, a problem. Besides that, though, the music was also very creepy. And just the way the movie's shot, the way the movie looks, the way the acting is, it's just a very, very well made movie. And if you guys haven't seen The Witch yet, go see it. It's very well made. I'm a big fan of it. I'm gonna get it on Blu-ray when it comes out. And yeah, so big fan of The Witch. Definitely a well made movie. And so yeah, that's my review on The Witch. So thanks for watching my review on The Witch from 2015. And I'll see you guys on the next review. Bye, guys.